You're listening to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro, the place to learn about new technology and technological advances before they become mainstream. This podcast is sponsored by DLink technology. Make your home smarter, safer, and truly seamless. Let's get into it.
Welcome to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro. I'm your host, Carrie Roberts, and my guest today is Michael Wayne Friends. He is the outside sales engineer at DLink. Welcome, Michael. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
So today we are talking about Power over Ethernet, or PoE, and Power over Ethernet uses unique terminology. Can you explain for us in detail and in a clear way, especially for maybe those that don't fully understand it, how it's defined?
Yes, Power over Ethernet is the emerging technology. It has been around a while, but it's matured to the point where we'll see it not only in business, but in homes. So it's a system, it's a way to transfer electrical power along data lines just using standard Cat5 or better LAN cabling. So in a nutshell, it'll transfer power and it will transfer data. So it can talk to nearly any appliance.
And is there any unique terminology that pertains to it as well that we should know about?
Yeah, without trying to be too technical, you'll have the device that provides the power, and that's called a PSE, or power source equipment. And then you'll have a device at the end of the Cat5 cable. That's called a PD, or a powered device. Traditionally, the powered device has been cameras, and that's been the genesis of where it came from. But now it has evolved where many different types of products are the PD, or the power device.
Now, why would a partner want to use a Power over Ethernet if they're not using it already? What is the value of it for them?
Yeah, the PoE is a standard-based standard. It's standards-based, so it's put together by the IEEE. And one of the great things about this particular standard is that it's low voltage. It's a low voltage standard. So if you have a PoE product, usually it's called a mid-span or it's an end-span. If you have that in the middle, you could mitigate having a fully licensed electrician because it's low voltage. And as I mentioned before, with our emerging products coming out, you'll be able to power your lights or your clock or many other appliances in the future. So being a low voltage technology, it's very exciting.
And if somebody is already using it, because there are a lot of people that are, what are the critical and necessary standards needed to run it well?
Yeah, once again, I'll get a little bit into the weeds here. As I mentioned, it's an IEEE standard. It has a newer standard now. The latest standard is 802.3 BT, B like boy, T like Tom. So the benefit of that is that it allows a higher wattage. The older standard, which was ratified in 2003, was 802.3 AF. The later standard, 802.3 AT, was ratified in 2009. And the latest standard, just ratified in 2018, allows products to go up to 90 watts. And that's just fantastic. You can power just many things at 90 watts.
And so once these standards have been met, how does the PoE work?
So it's pretty straightforward. So as long as you have the correct rated cable, Cat5 or better, and then the PD, remember that's the power device, has what's called a class or a class of PoE that it's rated at. So it will communicate with the PSE, the power source equipment, to say, hey, I'm class 1, I need so much power. Oh, I'm class 8, I need so much power. So the higher the class, the more power it needs. So as long as that particular switch, that PSE, is rated for that power, the device will turn on. You just plug it in and it turns on.
Hey everyone, we hope you're enjoying this episode of B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro. Let's pause for a moment to recognize our sponsor, DLink Systems. Are network speeds slowing you down or security risks top of mind? Talk with DLink Systems. Leverage award-winning products and deploy networks that are second to none with DLink wireless, surveillance, and switching solutions. Contact Ashley Ruggiero at Ingram Micro today. That's Ashley, ASHLEY.Ruggiero, RUGGERIO at ingrammicro.com.
Classifications are, of course, also critically important. What would you say that includes?
So the latest standard, there's 8 classes. So you'll go from class 0, which is anywhere from 15 or so watts at the power source, and then you lose a little bit of wattage that goes out to the PD, the power device. So it's about 13 watts, 12.95 to be technical. And so from 0 all the way up to 8 is the newer 90 watt standard. So that'd be 90 watts at the PSE and then 71 or so watts at the PD. So if you know the class of the device, if you know that it follows the standard, you can be assured that you'll plug it in and it will work.
Now, is PoE something that can just be used within an office environment, or with more people now working remotely or working from home? Can it be used for that, and how so?
Yeah, in these times, it's important to note that with PoE, as I mentioned earlier, it started off just in the PoE camera industry, but now it's to the point where anything that has a PoE interface can be powered. So if you have certain devices that need to stay up and they're powered by PoE, as long as that PSE has power, it will stay up. So you could have redundancy. For example, if you plug in your PoE, your mid-span or your in-span into an uninterruptible power supply or something that doesn't go down, if you lose power in your house or in your business and you have it plugged into a UPS, uninterruptible power supply, your devices that are plugged into PoE will still work. So that's important these days, where you can have reliable power by using PoE.
And so you work with DLink. How can DLink help partners set this up and give them information on how to use PoEs correctly?
Yes, great question. So PoE, even though is still an emerging technology, especially at the higher wattage, it does need to be sized correctly. One thing DLink does, we work with partners to help them troubleshoot whenever they have PoE issues. And DLink can help you with those common issues. Like many times, if you plug in the device and the power doesn't turn on, and you say, hey, this is standard, it's supposed to turn on, we can help you figure out what it might be. It might be the class, it might be the switch that's not communicating the correct class, or vice versa. It's just a whole list of things. That's where DLink can help. We can help you size the correct PoE solution for the PD, the power device that you're using.
And one question we like to ask all of our guests, Michael, on this show is, where do you see technology going within the next year? It could pertain to PoEs or something else. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, this is exciting and uplifting because, as I mentioned, the cameras was the genesis, and then wireless access points, they're very popular. But now what we see a lot is things like clocks and lighting. So in the future, PoE will be your PoE lighting. So your lighting will be smart. It will say, okay, turn out the lights at this time, or turn on the lights at this time. It's just a whole list of products that will be powered by PoE, and these will be smart products. It's going to make us more efficient. It's going to make our homes and our businesses smarter. So in the long run, PoE will be a very good low voltage solution.
Now, where can people learn more? If they have questions, you give a lot of great information. And if they want more detail or they want to work with DLink to help them with their PoE, where can they do that?
Oh, absolutely. They can contact DLink. We're very accessible. We not only have pre-sale support, and that's where I come in primarily. We do have post-sale support also, as well as a great sales team. So they can contact us, go to our website, www.dlink.com. If you have more technical concerns or technical questions, you could go to our support page at support.dlink.com. And the last thing, we're still old-fashioned. You can give us a call. It's 877-354-6555.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here, Michael, and sharing your insight and really detailed explanation of where we can go with this. And we look forward to hearing more from you soon.
Thank you so much.
If you like this episode or have a question, join the discussion on Twitter at Ingram TechSoul with the hashtag B2B Tech Talk. Thank you for tuning in and subscribing to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro.
You've been listening to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro, hosted by Carrie Roberts and sponsored by DLink Technology. B2B Tech Talk is a joint production by Sweetfish Media and Ingram Micro. Ingram Micro production handled by Laura Burton and Christine Fan. To not miss an episode, subscribe today in your favorite podcast platform.